Hey guys, welcome to Tommen Talk. I'm Crystal and this is Brie. And today we're putting together a bit of a podcast today, just on a lot of the questions we've received probably in the past week or so around, some of our theories, some of the things that are out there that have been, out on TikTok, and people just wanted to get our thoughts. So we actually decided to put a poll out because we always love to collaborate and engage with you guys and really understand what you're thinking. Because we also know that, the fandom's not great at times, and sometimes it's a little bit scary to post your thoughts or your theories because sometimes it cannot be perceived positively. And I know that's nobody's intention, but we just wanted to talk about what some of those thoughts were for us. So we put a poll out around what are some questions around Gibsie in particular, because we have really been focusing on Gibsie, we've really been deep diving into Gibsie lately, and honestly we're so excited for Healing 7, but we know we're probably not going to get that next. We're going to get Liz and Hugh first. So, in the meantime, we're going to talk a bit about Gibsie. So what we're going to do is just go through some of the questions that we've been asked. Again, these are just our thoughts for right now. They could change tomorrow. They could change after we film this. But I think in general, again, our intention is to talk about how much we love these characters, love this world, respect Chloe, everything. We recognize everything Chloe does is intentional. Nothing is a mistake. To me, Chloe is the Stan Lee of the Marvel universe. She has planned this stuff out for years. And if you know the Marvel universe, which most people do, that's how I relate to Chloe. She's also the Taylor Swift to what's happening currently.
No, literally the Taylor Swift.
You're in the Swiftie space, as you probably know that I am. And we're slowly converting Brie.
Yes.
But I feel everything's intentional, and that's going to come through in our thoughts because we trust Chloe and we know she has a vision and she's going to get that vision out, no matter what she does. First question we have, and this has kind of come up quite a bit, is I think a lot of people have this. It was really funny. I put a poll out to be what's everyone's thoughts on whether they think Gibsie has an inkling, so an idea or a vibe around what happened to Liz. Yes, they 100% agree that Gibsie has an idea, and it all kind of stems from reading Taming 7 and the Scream.
Which I remember reading Taming 7 before our 10 even came out, and I feel everyone had that same thought. They heard that screen, they saw the dialogue that Gibsie was saying, and they agreed. He knows something.
Yeah, and you hadn't even read Lizzie's story yet, so it was kind of oh, there's something going on there. It's kind of at camping, you're oh, there's something going on with Feely and Liz. There was vibes, right? And it was kind of whether he knew, whether he had an inkling. That's the consensus when you read Taming 7, right? And then we get to C10 and we know that there's more to that, and there's obviously the backstory and the promise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is if hypothetically, if Gibbs knew anything about Liz, what would it be and why would he not say anything?
To be honest, most people have seen our letter theory, and if you haven't, I encourage you to go watch it because we have a whole video on YouTube. But if Kiva was, let's say, to write something about Liz in a note, and Gibsie does have that letter, I think the note would have to be very quickly written. It would have to not have every little itty bitty detail possible, because we have to remember, she's in a hostage situation in the 3 week period. She is being drugged at this time period as well, and she has an idea that she's probably not making it out of that house. She's gonna write something quick to get to the points, and that's why I think she said to Lizzie, you guys go to the guards together. You tell them everything, because I can't. I can't get everything on a piece of notebook paper in this hostage situation. So I think it could be something as easy as Lizzie's not safe. Lizzie's not safe around Mark. Lizzie has similar trauma to you. Lizzie and Mark do not get it could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be a sentence, it could be 2 sentences, it could be very something quick. I don't think she would write oh, on this day, the hanger scene took, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be.
It's not specific. Also, if you're addressing that to another child,
exactly,
you wouldn't be exposing your sister's trauma.
I agree with that.
You probably want to have enough to be protect Liz as well,
exactly,
more of a safety warning rather than actually divulging into what the details are.
The whole point of going to the guards is an adult would be able to identify what that means, that sentence. Maybe Gibsie wouldn't have been able to really fully understand it because he probably doesn't even fully understand what happened to him, So I think that's why she's go to the guards together and tell them together everything that
it's clear that everything wasn't in that letter. Yeah.
Exactly.
And Gibsie was confused. What would have been confused anyways? I know we said this in a letter theory, but he obviously asked, and this is the thing, he had an inkling back
early,
asked Liz about it, because he asked her twice, and I find that so interesting when you're reading that scene. So he's asking her about Mark, and she pauses, doesn't say anything, and then shakes her head, right? And then
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I also want to add in, Lizzie's the first person that says, I'm always okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of uses that
she literally gave that to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's intentional. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Everything is intentional, that's for sure.
Intentional. They both say it. I think he says it at one point.
Mark says, you're always okay. That's what he says to Gibbs in his flashback. So potentially she's taken it as well, Mark, which is,
and maybe that's another way he is able to be I kind of know what's happening, but I don't. I don't think he's gonna know everything. I also don't think he knows while it's happening. I also want to hear if the other thing was real. One, he would get at age 11. He can't really read around that time period. He struggles in high school, so we know he struggles when he's a child. You know what I mean? Also, Mark leaves, so the immediate threat is gone. So if he did have any suspicion that Mark was maybe a dangerous person to Lizzie, if Mark's gone, I feel Gibbs would be okay, well, the immediate danger is gone. That doesn't get rid of the trauma, but it gets rid of that immediate threat. So maybe he assumed she was safe too. Yeah, that's how I would picture it, because Gibbs felt a little bit safe once he left. You know what I mean?
And he thinks if it stopped for him, it stopped for her. So I think if it does come through, we honestly wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if Gibbs knew, not because that villainizes him or anything, but because I understand him. I would understand why he wouldn't say anything as a friend that's protecting his friend, when as a kid he had an inkling and it kind of moved in, and maybe he has the aha moment at Hugh's 18th, then it kind of all comes back then, because it's not a coincidence that the letter all of a sudden comes out September 2005 when it hasn't been out for 5 years. So there's potential that he has an aha moment where he kind of puts it together, similar to Hugh. We're getting these little bits and pieces. is.
It kind of makes sense of why like Gibs literally like leaves and like goes to biddies. Like he literally has this aha moment and then he just darts away. Like he's like, I gotta get out of here. So like, I don't know. To me, that makes sense. I also think Lizzie is the type of person who will understand why Gibs did not say something when she ends up finding out. You know what I mean? Like I think once they have like a full on conversation, like Liz is going to be like, I thank you for like keeping my secret almost, like because she thought she knew like he was just doing it out of protection and he was doing it because he was like a supportive friend from like a distance, if that makes sense.
Agreed. So yeah, I think like the consensus is like we love Gibsie, but if he did know, I honestly wouldn't feel like I wouldn't hate it. Like I would understand it.
I don't think I would be mad at him.
I would understand it, and I would think that again dives into his complex character of being Gibsie the mask and then Gerard the actual person beneath the trauma. So I feel like, and we know that we kind of shift into Gerard's POV at the end of Taming 7. So like we haven't seen the real Gerard and how he actually is going to cope with any of this, and because he's masked it for so long, maybe it's Gerard who actually knows, you know, and maybe Gibsie is his mask that's hidden everything. Like that's his way of dealing, and now we're going to hopefully get that. The issue is we're not going to get it next. We're not going to get it until Healing 7, which is probably a little bit off, you know, a while to go. So I think you're just going to be like open-minded about the possibilities of it happening. It definitely could not happen as well. Like we're not saying that as well, but like I know these just been questions that people have been asking us. These are just our general thoughts around it. That if it did happen, we wouldn't hate Gibsie for it. We still love him. Like there's no doubt about it. And if you need to like understand a bit more, please go watch our video because it's a massive deep dive. It talks about, I know people think that maybe Gibs bullied Lizzie. That is not the case. Have a look at our video. We've done a whole timeline on the behavior. Like it doesn't make sense, to be honest. Like if that's your perception, I don't think that's the intention that Chloe was going for when she wrote the book. Gibsie is purely like a protector. He's like honestly the most valued friend that you'd want because he does keep everybody's secrets as well. So like, yeah, that's kind of the vibe around that. So if you did know, very minimal, like, and you'd still have to put the pieces together. Like it wouldn't be very black and white because nothing is these books, nothing. Cool. So next question is around like Gerard and Gibsie. So what we think is going to happen in 2006, moving into Healing 7. Obviously, Gibsie is his facade, his mask. We don't need it anymore because the truth has come out. He does slip into Gerard at the end of 2005, around that, you know, New Year's period, moving into 2006. So what do we think is going to happen?
I think this is going to be actually really interesting. I'm interested to see if she sticks it out through a full Gerard like POV or if it flip-flops. I don't know what.
I feel like a flip-flop, like insert
I
situations.
would love a flip-flop.
You know what I mean? Like boom, mask up, like.
Everyone who knows me knows I love a perspective switch. I love a POV. So I think it's so fun to have flip-flops where you can like kind of like almost see the same character but see different sides of that character. I think it's so cool. And I honestly think like because we saw so much of Gibsie, that's why we saw very little in Taming 7, I should say. But I'm interested to see once we get those Gerard POVs, like is he going to give us more information? Like is he going to like not be suppressing
actually dive into those flashbacks? Yeah, they were very surface level. Yeah.
Yeah, the flashbacks were like almost like if he didn't tell you what happened in those two things, like Winter Ball and when he tells Mark like what happened,
you'd be like,
you would not really know. You know what I mean? Like,
and you don't even know to the extent of reading Releasing 10 because then you're like, oh, okay. Like, like
exactly. Yeah. So like, I'm really interested to see like which route she takes it. Like I said, I would love a flip flop, but if it's a full Gerard book, I'd be okay with that too. Because I think at the end of Taming 7, it said like Claire and Gibsie's book was coming to like an end. So I could see it becoming a Claire and Gerard book. You know what I mean? Which I think is interesting, and I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for their relationship.
100%. Yeah. And I think that kind of like leads into the next question, which is about Claire and Gibs and like the breakup rumors and what we think about that. And I think like if you've seen some of the snippets that we posted, there's a breakup. Okay, hate to break it to you, but it's coming. It's pretty clear that they break up. She literally calls him Gibsie, and my heart cracked.
That broke my heart when I saw it on your video. I was like, I knew it was there, and I still was like hurt.
It's painful. And I think like the consensus is we know that like Claire will need a point where she needs to reflect on things. There's a lot of reflecting playlists and learn more about stuff, not be shielded by things anymore, and grow up. And she does have a Claire and her Big Girl era playlist, and I would definitely recommend listening to it because some of the songs are a little bit petty. I'm not gonna lie.
I noticed that too, and I thought that was so interesting because I feel like a lot of people think she's gonna almost shift into like a depressive, like kind of sad girl era. I don't see it that way necessarily. Like I do think she's gonna be down, but I think she's gonna be more angry and more petty. Like I think it's gonna like have like almost kind of give Lizzie vibes in a way. Like
just teenager vibes. Yeah.
Exactly.
First breakup. Yeah. Like she's gonna be sad for sure, but we also think it's probably gonna be on Claire's side of the breakup, not Gibsie's side. Like we'd love it to be Gibsie's side. We'd love Gibsie to actually identify that, you know, that's not what he needs right now, and he can't match her energy anymore because he's no longer Gibsie. He is Gerard, and he needs to heal. But I also feel like the way that Claire acts might cause more of a tiff in her response, which we saw at the end of Taming 7. Like we saw that as well. So, you know, it could be, it sounds like there's two snippets. There's my girlfriend wants to break up with me, and I'll chuck these on the screen so you can see them. And then there's snippets of them actually being broken up as well. And there's also the snippet around Bernadette and text messages, which implies that Claire was the one that messed it up. So, I mean, again, these aren't canon. They're just playlists. You can create as many theories as you like around them. Like we would love Gibs to be the one, I guess, to break it off for him because he needs to heal. He needs to. I
think it would be really healing for their plot line just because they've been attached at the hips in the same bed and since they were like so little that like I think like they need separation in order to come back together, to be honest. And also just how Claire reacted at Winter Ball. While I know it was from a really good place, I know she didn't mean harm by it. It still is harmful even if you don't intentionally mean it to be harmful. if I was Gibbs, I wouldn't be able to forgive right away. So like the fact that he did was a little, is he
gonna
stay?
Like he did, and he still like was like, don't even choose between Liz and I. Like he was like
exactly
lovely. Like he didn't even want that. So I do also wonder if like the energy or the, I guess, arguments and confrontation that come through around Liz and Hugh also cause a tiff between Claire and Gibbs, because Gibbs doesn't want people to take sides. He's never wanted that. He's like on Hugh's side, he's on Liz's side, he's on Claire's side. But I think Claire is pretty clear that she wants a line drawn, and I think that will be like the initial, crux of, I guess, the tension.
Yeah. Well, Claire also comes out at Winter Ball and she pretty much accuses Lizzie's sister. I mean, how do you come back from that too without like contradicting yourself almost? You know what I mean? So I think she's gonna have to have like this big character development. And no hate to Claire, Claire's a great character, but like I think she's gonna need a big character development to overcome those statements she made, because they were
understand that there are things that you shouldn't say, which
all
characters actually need to reflect on. Like no one's perfect in this series. Everyone's human, and they're teenagers. So let's just remember that.
Yes.
So like I feel like with the Claire stuff, like it looks like it's more on Claire's end. I mean, it's, again, we don't have many, and we're not going to get it anytime soon. But I think it's interesting because like Gibbs like foreshadowed this. He literally was like, I can't be with her because like the statistics of us actually making it, like he literally foreshadowed this, and now it's happened. So
you're correct.
I think they will end up back together. Like we will get a happily ever after. Don't you worry. Chloe does never do us dirty. She always has justice, and she always gives us a happy ending. It will just be a bit of a journey to get there, and then obviously Damien is most likely going to be involved. Otherwise, he wouldn't have his own playlist.
So would have been introduced. I feel like
would have been introduced. There's literally a playlist of Gibsie hating Damien throughout Healing 7, which I think is interesting. And you wouldn't really hate him, I guess, if you broke it off, So
bit
of jealousy there. So I mean, anything's possible in that. Someone said, how much does dyslexia actually affect him? Because he's obviously doing his leading cert exams and he's able to read those. So why do people think he can't read?
I think there's a huge misconception in the fandom, and I don't know why. Maybe just people aren't educated on dyslexia. That could totally be it. But being dyslexic doesn't mean you can't read or write. It just means it could be a little bit more challenging. It doesn't just mean like you're never going to be able to learn to read or write things down. I mean, in Taming 7, it literally says like, I am reading the letter.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like I can write it down. It's just my spelling.
Claire a note.
Like, yeah.
Like, he writes Claire a note and she can read it fluently. So like, is it his eternal self, like being like, wow, like my handwriting looks like shit? Or is it like, like that personal bias, or where like maybe to everyone else it looks fine, but like he can read and write, and dyslexia is not that you can't. And I hope people like look more into it if you're not like educated on it. A lot of times it's like flip-flopping letters and stuff like that. Like I know like the B and D is the most common misconception, like when you like flip them around. But there's a lot more to it than just that. That's just like what comes to the top of my head right now. But no, I mean, he's in high school. Like he has to take tests. He has to, like, you know what I mean? Like he has to take his leaving cert in order to leave high school and graduate. So like he might have extra time in his classes potentially to do certain things. I could totally see that. Like if people have like 504 plans, like in America, or like IEPs where they get extra time. I mean, in college, I had people in nursing school who would leave to go to the testing center to go take their exams because they needed a little bit more time to do it for whatever reason. So maybe he has something like that, but that doesn't mean he still isn't having the same content.
He's not illiterate. Like he is
and he
able
has to be doing the same. Like if he's in normal high school classes, he will be having the same normal high school tests as every single other person. You don't get an easier exam just because you have dyslexia. Like not how it works. Otherwise, you would be like in a different grade. You would be low. Like you would be held back.
Yeah, you'd be in a different program.
Yeah, it just,
I think like because we've like seen the struggle since he was a child, like we also need to recognize he grew and he learned and he as well. So like potentially, when he was younger, when he was 11 and he got that letter, he maybe did struggle then and couldn't read it right away. But eventually he could.
And it's just more how your brain processes things. It doesn't mean it's anything to do with your intelligence. And I think that's also a really important part too, because Gibsie is very, very smart. He is like one of the smartest, like street smart characters in the series. He's the first person to recognize that Eva was pregnant. He's the first person to recognize that Joey was high on drugs during the fight when Joey comes to school to defend her against Bella. Like he literally can see someone and he can like pick it up. He's perceptive. Like he knows. He's good intuition. He's very, very smart. And I think, and even in Taming 7, he's like, Hugh, like you're pining after one girl while dating another girl. He knows.
He knows.
knows. Like he's very, very intelligent. So I think there's like this, maybe it's like, I don't think people mean it in a malicious way when they say like, oh, he's dyslexic. Like that would never happen. But it almost is kind of like you're giving him a stereotype. Like you are just giving, like by saying he's dyslexic and he would never be able to write a letter, it's just saying like, why? Like why would he be able to? Why is he never allowed to learn? Why would he never ever be allowed to learn to write? Like that's not true. And then you're just putting that, like there's people in the world that have dyslexia. So now you're just telling everyone in the world who has dyslexia that they can never write. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And I think like Chloe tackles so many things that she probably will address it so it's clear. Like in Healing 7, part of his journey as to like if he could read the letter, if he couldn't, when he could, how he struggled with it. Like I think that'll all be unpacked so we do understand his thought process behind that and the challenges that came through, because it's not the same for everybody. But I thought that was a really interesting question that came through because
that is a really
that's part of it. And the last question was, how do you think Gibsie will cope after Taming 7? Do you think he'll like self-destruct, blow up? Like what his response will be? I mean, we do have Gibbs losing his shit in January 2006, so it's pretty clear he's not happy.
They also have a lot of bullying playlists in relation to Gibsie. Like the school finds out what happened, which is horrible, but it is high school and that does happen. So like, I think he's not going to handle it well for a long time. Like I think it's like Healing 7. We're not going to get the healing until much later. Like
no, it's always at the end of the book, right?
Always at the end. Always at the end. Every book, like Binding 13. She binds them at the end. Like It keeps him at the end.
Keeps him at the end. We save him. We redeem him at the end. Like, yeah,
exactly.
It's always the last 100.
Releasing 10, like she releases him at the end. It sucks, but like it's
don't remind me.
No, it's horrible. But I think it's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna handle it very well. I think he's gonna lose his shit. A lot of people. I think he's gonna get bullied. I think he's gonna kind of spiral. And I think that's also kind of why we're not gonna see Gibsie as much, because Gibsie's happy-go-lucky guy, and Gerard probably isn't.
Yeah, Gibsie is not who he is. He is Gerard.
We've never seen Gerard other than when he was like a child previously, and it's very, very briefly. So like we have not seen who Gerard is. So when people are like, "Oh, well, Gibsie's the character who's like so happy," he's always like making jokes. That is a mask. That is a shield. That is not Gerard Gibson. That is a fake person. It's a persona. Like we don't know who he is.
Yeah. Not to say that he doesn't have those traits and he will blend them in, but
it might just not be as prevalent.
Yes, I think when you're reading the other books prior to reading Gibsie's, you're like, oh my god, he's so happy, he's so funny. Like, and then you read, like, oh my god, he's still so happy, he's so funny. Like,
what is happening?
Yeah, and there's a reason why it's like written like that. And I think I feel like Taming 7 got a lot of negative reviews because that understanding was not there. Like, it was surface level, it wasn't deep, because we are on the surface of Gibsie. We are literally Gibsie surface. We haven't kind of.
I just don't think anyone thought of it like that. Like, they saw Gibsie and they just think, oh, that's Gibsie, and like there's no information. But I'm like, no, that's not the actual character. That's his mask. We're reading his mask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what's happened with Gerard. Yeah.
Like, he is masking us because he's masking himself. And I think that's a really hard concept for people to understand. Like, Gibsie literally is the mask who likes to suppress anything about his trauma. So when you're in Gibsie's point of view, you are not getting things because he's hiding it from you.
Yeah.
And I think this is why I always talk about like an unreliable narrator and a first person narrative, because like in a way he is a very unreliable narrator in that sense, because he's not even his own narrator. Like it's his mask speaking to you. And
he does like if you notice, like, say for instance, he's talking to Johnny and he's talking about Liz and he's talking about how she wanted them to choose sides, all this kind of stuff, right? And then he says, I think that's why Hugh and Liz don't talk anymore.
That's a lie.
It's a lie, right? He knows Hugh and Liz are talking. He literally says the week after that's why you're with another girl and pining after another. Like, he literally knows. He like it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he knows. He literally knows. He knows every so.
He knows the whole story. So like, he's just intentionally lying to Johnny about it because it's not his secret.
You said don't tell anyone, and that's Johnny.
Exactly. And that's his best friend.
Yeah, so
he's hiding it from Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like we're really going to dive deep into Gerard in the next one, and I'm like
really
so excited for it. Yeah,
I'm so excited. Like,
I'll be interested to see if people still like Gerard as they liked him.
I am interested in that too. I really am. I think he's gonna, because I put him last, and it's not because I don't like him, but it's more so that like I couldn't relate to Gibsie. So I wonder if I'm gonna actually really like Gerard's character. I'm really, really interested in seeing that, because I'm not a huge fan of the Gibsie character, because I'm not like a class clown. I'm not like I don't relate to that kind of persona. So like, I wonder if when we do get that shift, if I'm really gonna like it. I think I will.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, there's one more thing, and it's not really a question, it's more so a statement, I guess you could say. There's just stuff going around about like Gibsie potentially being the red deer in R10. And I know we made a mythology video discussing all of the like Irish mythology and stuff like that. I think we just both kind of wanted to come on here and just be like, we do not think that Gibsie is the deer. If anyone is going to be the deer from Irish mythology, it would be Sive, Gibsie's mother, just because based off of Irish mythology, that is what that person turns into. But we do not think Gibbs is the deer. And I don't think
even if Gibbs knew, it wouldn't be as it was actually happening.
I don't think he would be able to stand by and watch. No, like I don't
highly doubt that. No.
I highly doubt that. But I wanted to put that like as a little disclaimer here, just because I've been seeing that circulating around.
Some wild things out there. That's
I think people put words in my mouth sometimes, and I'm like, I didn't say that ever.
Yes, but we are always open to hearing your theories. Our DM's always open, so drop them in there, ask us questions. We love a deep dive. We're currently deep diving a few things at the moment because this is literally our coping mechanism, and this is just the joy we bring to ourselves and the pain as well. But yes, let us know if you have any other questions. We will be doing a few more podcasts throughout the week, and then obviously we've got like some more presentations and stuff lined up as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And make sure you're following us down below. We've got all our links there. We have dropped a few links we've got lots of different timeline links. So if you need to refresh your knowledge, we've got Jenna's timeline, which is like amazing. We've got the study guide with some notes if you need some, again, refresh of what's happening in each of those chapters. And we've obviously got our beautiful calendar, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty. Like, I'm literally so obsessed with them.
I look at it every day.
No, it's like I'm so into like this timeline that like at work I'm writing 2005 on all my paperwork now.
We are living.
And Brianna, like we're in 2025. I'm like, you are, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm like 20 years behind. But yeah, so check those out in our links if you are interested. Like, they're really good tools, and I think they'll really help like when the next book comes out, because we will update them as well. But yeah, thank you for all the support. We love connecting with you guys. So we'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye.